I already have a screen. I mean,
We're live.
what's up?
What's up? I've got my deeper voice going on right now. I can almost do it. I can almost do it.
Don't even go there. Don't even go there.
Hey, you're the one that posted the tinfoil hat earlier.
Hey, I said that was on 3D printing tonight. I didn't say that was on the Calvin and Jimmy show.
Hey, Theresa, how you doing, my friend? BV3D is in the house. Let's see here. We got Aaron. He is naked under his clothing. Woo-hoo, sexy man.
Oh, jeez.
How you doing, Theory? Thank you for joining. Glad to see you guys in there. Man, what a week.
No kidding.
Yes, my balls finally dropped. They're all the way to the floor.
And Aunt Nancy's sitting there grinning and laughing. Great.
What's that?
And Aunt Nancy
Aunt
just
Nancy.
dropped in.
How you doing?
So my dad's like, wait, have you met some of them? I'm like, oh yeah, I know Aunt Nancy. I've met Uncle Steve and Aunt Helen. I know like half of everybody. It's great.
Well, I left work today and got to dinner, realized that I had my work jacket on. So I've got to be sure to swing past there. Tomorrow's my day off, but I'm going to swing past there and pick up my leather jacket. So I figured, well, I might as well wear this, seeing that I may not be wearing it much longer the rate things are going. Oh my goodness. Rudy at dinner time sends me a link, text it to me, where at 4:00 Eastern time tomorrow, if they do not receive a bid, the banks are going to start pushing for liquidation. So, gotta start figuring out.
Fun.
It's time to figure out what I'm going to do next.
No kidding.
It's cost too much to get back into the sandblasting business, so I won't be doing that. So nothing else. I'll go get a job at McDonald's or something.
Honestly, considering your managerial skills, you could probably. I'm feeding you back.
What the world is going on with this? Keeps on going back and forth.
That's weird.
Oh, maybe I just have the volume too high.
Probably. No, what I was going to say is, I mean, considering your managerial skills, you could, if you landed somewhere, you could probably work your way up the ladder at a decent rate. Although it would still not be ideal.
Yeah. Well, at least I got the one thing I wanted today. I got an email earlier today where we actually showed a profit last month. And it's been slowly creeping ever since I got the job. My whole thing was to go profitable. That's what all I want to do is to get the company to be profitable. And so every month it started at being a negative 65%. And when I very first took it over, and it crept down into the 50s and then into the 40s and into the 30s. And then last month we actually were 5% over. And so it showed a positive, not of a tremendous amount of money, but it was in the positive. So I got what I was after. On to the next challenge.
Okay, so here's a question for you guys in the chat. And if you can't comment in the chat, let me know and I'll either give you a wrench or you can tweet it out to me. I'm in desperate need of a new control board for my Formbot T-Rex, and I have a Ramps 1.4 board, but trying to get the thing to work is being an absolute pain with Marlin. I know the Ramps is an old board. I bought this one like 2+ years ago. I'm just curious. Jimmy's saying a GT2560 is a good board to grab. What do you guys say? I can probably off the board and plop them onto whatever I get.
You want one of these right here. What's making all that noise over there?
Is your set on fire?
See, is this thing opened up? I thought I had it open. Maybe I haven't opened it yet. Ooh. Calvin, I actually have a brand new board here.
Ooh,
It's still sealed. Look at that.
look at that.
Look at that. Look at that. Respect it. And then I've also got the drivers for it too.
Oh, wow.
And they are also sealed. Honestly, I would probably go with the GT board. Just because the newer version, I think you can... For that printer, you could probably just download one of the profiles for... see, that one's got this... The bit goes back and forth, correct? You probably just go like with a A10... or just a go because this Marlin supports it. So you actually just go with the newest version of Marlin and then do whatever you want. Otherwise, if you wanted a profile or a factory one, you could always just go for the M10 profile onto it, or the A10, and then tweak the build size of everything.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of doing, because I need a board that's capable of driving the 2 hot ends, which I'm figuring out this Ramps board is incapable of doing. So the more I look at it, the more I'm thinking I'm just going to grab that GT2560, because I need to try and get the Formbot going ASAP. So I got stuff I need to get going on that, and I promised Ashley from Chip Builds I'd get it over to her at some point. So I'm just thinking I'm going to cut my losses with the Ramps board. I had it working before, and then I tried to upload a newer version of Marlin to it, and it just, you know, it powers on, but it's just been a nightmare. So I'm like, you know what? I'll save the Arduino board because that's good, but I just think it's a case of it's an ancient board trying to run new firmware. And as it is, I know the Ramps boards are pretty in comparison to what's out there today. So it's like, if I'm going to work on the machine, I want to put something that's a good driver in there so I can actually make it functional, not just be like, oh, I'm just being cheap and I put a crappy board on it. And then I end up back at square one where the machine is great machine in terms of the very rugged design and very smooth, but it just had horrible electronics on it that just wouldn't work. And from what I'm reading, I should be able to reuse my LCD, so that's no big deal.
The whole reason why I have this board is because actually one of my patrons took and supplied me with this board, and reason why I got it is because originally I was going to put it on my aluminum i3, but then I've also had this Zone Star come up that had just a horrible board on it. So I was thinking about using this board on the Zone Star and getting it going. So, I mean, I can't see why it couldn't run a printer your size.
Yeah, it just boils down because I'm going to be driving, obviously, the firmware. I'm going to be driving the gigantoid heated bed that we were going to use off of the SSR anyways. I was going to use the board to turn it on and off, but that was it.
Yeah.
You know, I want to try and get that going, but I'm looking at the GTEC page for the GT2560, and it looks like it's all in one, which is nice. 6 end stops, 3 fans, 1 PWM, 2 extruders, wow, 3 thermistors, 6 end stops, 1 controllable fan, 3 uncontrollable fans, 5 stepper motor drivers. That's nice. Mm-hmm. No need to stack it, and it will support the LCD. Dang. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the 2004 LCD or something like that.
Yeah, because I've got the bigger. I have a Syntron RepRap discount. Which model number? Oh, I don't know. It's the big one, which is nice.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm thinking I might just do this because honestly, I ain't got time in the world to dinkle around with things that don't want to work.
Yeah. Well, plus you want to kind of update it. You don't want to kind of downgrade it either.
Exactly. And I've actually thought about at some point looking into upgrading the board in my Ultimaker. Because you got to remember that thing's running the stock board. So compared to the boards today, you can see like geometric faceting on edges and things like that. And it's like, you know what? I've had this thing forever. At some point, it would make sense to upgrade the control electronics on it. Just because if it's running the stock ones, you're not going to get the features that you get today with the more silent steppers and all that crap.
Yeah. The one thing about this board that I do have to tell you is the power input is it's a 4-pin like for a PC.
Okay, like a Molex.
Yeah, so you can actually use a well, see this little square one right there. So you can actually use a power supply from a PC if you wanted to.
I actually have a power supply floating around.
Cool.
That's good to know.
That's one thing I do like about that board is because the connector is actually heavy duty enough where you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, for sure.
And you're not screwing wires in for the power going into it. So everything. Of course, you're going to be running your bed from off of 110 with a
SSR.
Yeah. So that'll work out good.
Yeah, you know what? Pull the plug and grab one of these GT 2560 boards.
You mean pull the trigger?
Yeah, whatever. my brain is not fully here today. I've been running my tail off recently working on projects. So what can I say?
Vacation, man.
This guy does not know what the word vacation means.
I know. The whole thing was you're supposed to be like calming down, relaxing. And you're doing more work now than you do whenever you're up here.
Yeah, it's because I have access to equipment down here that I don't have up there. So I'm trying to make sure I'm getting the most out of it.
Yeah, Theresa, he's trying to do all the things.
Trying to get all the things done. Hey, what's up, Mr. Carroll Science?
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Mr. Carroll Science, what's up?
So I found one. It looks like a good deal. It's the GT 2560 with USB cable and 5 drivers for $46.
You can't beat that.
No, you know what? I might as well just get it with the drivers, just so that way I know I have everything I need.
Comes with it?
Does it what?
Does it say which drivers come with it?
I just posted the link in chat.
It's probably going to be some of the cheaper ones, but take a look at it. That's actually okay. So the cord cable is going to be for flashing it.
Right. I have like 10 of those, but what's another one?
Yeah, because it's just a printer cable. Now, with this board, I can tell you that you have to have it powered up when you do flash it.
Okay, that's fair.
It's not one where you can just plug it into the PC and it flashes it. You actually have to have power going to it.
That's fair.
But yeah, they're a pretty heavy duty board. I've never had any problems with them. That's for sure. Yeah. Now I can't say the same for their 32 board that they've got. That board, I'm not a fan of it. Not a fan of the, is it a GT32 or does they have some other numbers with it? I think it's supposed to be a 32-bit board. I don't know. As it was described to me, it's like Marlin, but with a twist.
Oh, God. That's when you know to go running away really, really fast. So it looks like I need a ATX power supply plug. I'm just trying to make sure I have everything I need so when the thing gets dropped off on my doorstep Monday, I know I'm good.
So if you want you can actually go to Fry's Electronics and get an actual PSU, or you can actually get the ATX plug and then wire one up yourself.
Yeah, I was just going to grab a plug and wire it up myself.
Because I think Fry's should have it, and I know over in Seaside they have a Potter's Electronics. They would have something like that too, imagine.
Yeah, well, the thing is, Fry's is like about a 45-minute to an hour drive away from me in either direction, so it's kind of like,
So you can just order one on Amazon, have it shipped at the same time.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. It's just easier that way. So if I do have to run to Fry's, because Tuesday I'm probably going to be in the area with my dad because I need to go to the metal supply store, but at the same time, yeah, I think I found the cable. It's only $6. Ooh, it's got some
Carroll Science. He's upgrading that big monstrosity of a printer we were playing with last week.
Which one?
The big monstrosity of a printer you were playing with last week. That's when you're upgrading, right?
Oh yeah. We're sorry about the confusion. My brain is in 10 places right now. I'm trying to make sure I don't get the part shipped to San Francisco by accident. 1 second. Sorry, guys. This is what happens when I try and do things like way too fast.
He'll take and he'll ship it to me.
No, I'm having it shipped down to my parents' house.
I go and I get a box in the left on the front porch. I'm looking at it like, I'm not expecting a package. I wonder what this is. This isn't anything I've ordered. Hey, Calvin, did you order anything? Oh, yeah, it's supposed to be shipped to your place.
Hey, here's the best part, because I chose my parent shipping address. I'm going to be getting the stuff on Saturday, not on Monday. Well, oh yeah. I'm happy. Back to our regularly scheduled Calvin. No, that was always fun when I'd be down there for a while, or I'd be going down there and have stuff shipped ahead. I learned you had to have it shipped ahead a day or two before it was supposed to arrive, because then magically, like, I would have it delivered supposedly on Sunday, and then Tuesday morning I come rolling out of the camper and, oh, here's your box, Calvin. Well, when did that come? This morning? Oh, gosh darn it.
My favorite is when they say they delivered it and they didn't. They delivered it the next day.
Yeah, well, according to them, you live in the boonies.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, ask Danielle. She did get a kick out of Beth's roosters, but not for the right reasons.
What, they attack her?
No, it's just, it was funny because after we ate the wonderful Godfather potato, which she is like, oh my gosh, this is like the greatest thing ever. I'm like, yes, welcome to the cult of Nana's. We roll up to the place and she's like, holy crap, this place is a hole in the wall, but oh, it smells really good out here. I'm like, oh, just wait till you get inside, it'll get even better. We get the thing and she's just staring at it like, is that for real? And I'm like, yeah, it's for real. No, but the best part is we were just chilling in the camper because we were starting to have a food coma, because we were also tired from driving like 6 hours and she had to work that morning. And I think we were also having a Chick-fil-A chicken nugs coma as well from earlier. And she's like, I'm like, oh yeah, there's roosters, so you're gonna have to put up with that. And she's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, get used to it. Like 10:30 at night, she's like, is the rooster going? I'm like, oh yeah, he goes all night. Oh my gosh, really?
I don't understand why, because all roosters we've ever had, usually they wait until like about 5 in the morning. For some reason, these chickens are crazy.
Dude, these are also the same chickens that literally will fight the cats for their kibble.
Yeah, they will. What's funny is it's chicken flavored.
I kid you not, guys. There's this big old mama hen, and she had these little chicks, and Beth has, I don't know how many cats. And the hilarious thing is the chicken would come walking by, and literally the cats would just flee from the food. And then the chicks would come on in and devour it all. And I'm like, what's wrong with this picture?
Hey, Rick, how you doing?
This is messed up.
Man.
I'm just reading Mr. Carroll's science comment. Let Calvin order stuff. Then when it shows up, be like, sweet, getting free stuff from these companies.
Speaking of which, there's another printer on its way.
Oh, yeah, the formerly TiVo one.
Yeah, I can't wait to check this one out, though. I think, I'm going to be honest with you, I think a lot of these printers are made at the same factory. Have you noticed how similar they are?
No, yeah, I know what you mean. It's like, at the end of the day, like I always say, you can only have so many variants of control boards, lead screws, aluminum extrusions, heated beds, and LCD monitors before at the end of the day, it's the same thing wrapped up in a different present.
It's like cell phones. All of them have Qualcomm electronics in it.
Yeah. Really, it just boils down to which flavor of carrier software you have on there, and if it's a GSM, if it's a CDMA or a SIM phone.
Right.
Because Verizon's like the only CDMA phone service for wireless still. Everybody else is SIM card.
But what I'm getting at is, it doesn't matter if it's Apple, it doesn't matter if it's Samsung, it doesn't matter if it's LG, if it's who it is, they all buy their electronics from Qualcomm. That's and what's funny is, back in the day, Qualcomm used to make their own cell phones, and then they got out of the business because it's like, why should we do all the trouble of building these phones whenever we can just sell the electronics to everybody else?
Rick is saying back when he was a bike mechanic, 80% of the bikes came out of the same factory. Yeah, it's the same thing. At the end of the day, you can only have so many core chassis styles and tire styles. Obviously, people can go in there and buy their own handlebars and their own brake pads and things like that. But at the end of the day, the core of the machine is still exactly the same.
John Deere tractors, Craftsman tractors, MTD, Husqvarna. Look at any brand tractor, look at any brand lawnmower out there, and you look at the decks on them and all that, and you will notice they are all made at the same factory.
Unsurprising.
I mean, it's just amazing. It's, and if I don't know if you remember, but there was a period of time this year when there were several different 3D printing companies over in China that were saying they were moving to a new factory, and they all said it almost all at the same time. And I honestly believe that they all moved to the same factory.
Or they were using the same factory to produce their items, but that was becoming too small for their demand, and they actually had to move to a bigger one to do it. That's probably what ended up happening, because I would think it would probably just be like a small-time gig where they just get, 10 people assembling printers and they can keep up with production and have a little excess. Then all of a sudden, the machines start to take off, and then they just can't keep up with the production. I mean, it's a little bit like what happened with the Moai initially. The amount of pre-orders that came in was so much more than what Mark had anticipated, that I think he had to run to find like another company on very short notice to produce enough items. And he had a backlog for a while, and then he finally was able to get through it. But it's no fault of his own. If you're predicting to do 1,000 units and you get an order for 10,000 units in, that's the fault of everybody who wants it, not the producer necessarily. And now, sure, it's good if you're a producer to have a backup plan, but you can never predict what the future will be.
Yeah, and then that's where the problem starts coming up, because then it's a person has a tendency of overdoing the production portion of it. For you know it, you've got way more supply than you've got for demand, and then you're left with, okay, now I got to make a new product. If I don't make an improved product, then how are you going to keep the business going? You can only sell the same thing so many times.
Yeah, you say to yourself, I mean, unless you're Ono. Richard, our club electrician, was talking about that. He goes, "Yeah, I've had to relegate myself to realizing that I'm never going to get one." And I'm like, "Yeah, they're a very good example, in my opinion, of say what you want about the idea, but I will say this much: they had a cool idea, but they spent way too much money in advertising, in my opinion, and not enough money, and didn't devote enough money to production. And they were hoping that they could keep the hype train going and run it almost like a pyramid scheme, where they kept thinking they could funnel money into there, and it just didn't work out." We leave it at that.
That's the correct spelling of Ono. Oh no.
Well, remember the year when cute little Angus, according to like everybody that I know, was at Maker Faire, and they had that ridiculously big booth?
That was stinking ridiculous. I mean, Matter Hacker spent how much for their lounge area that they had there? Wasn't it around 75,000?
Yeah, when I was over at Evil Mad Scientist in Sunnyvale, they were saying for them to get a small booth at Maker Faire is about 25 grand. Because I was curious, because I was trying to find out from people, like, I think that was about like the size of a BuildTak booth, and that's the smallest. Because I think I asked Kayla once, like, I'm just curious to get an idea of what people are spending for having a spot here. And I think she said that was like at least $15,000 or $20,000 to have a spot for 3 days. Now, I understand the reason why it costs so much is that's offsetting, along with the sponsors, the cost for admission and things like that. But even then, it's still ridiculously expensive to get a booth over there. Even just like this squeaky little postage stamp. That's barely big enough to fit 3 people in a printer in.
Yeah, but they had a corner.
Yeah.
So I think their
They're
area
paying a
probably
premium.
took up a good 4 spots.
Yeah. Well, also they're on a corner spot, so they're paying a premium for that as well, because that's going to be the most highly trafficked area, and they know that they can milk it for all it's worth, because no matter how you walk through that building, you're always going to walk by a corner booth.
So little did Angus know, whenever they were over there strangling him, that he was standing probably in a $100,000 spot.
Rick said he thought Brooke Drum paid about 50 G for his spot that year. That sounds about right.
That's what I had heard too, is that he paid about 50,000 for his spot, and his spot was small compared to what Ono had, because they were right across from where he was at.
And we're talking, this is a good, what? His area was a good 20 feet long at least.
Yeah, he had
20, 25 foot.
His was 2 spots wide, but the area that Ono had was 2 deep, 2 wide. So it was a good 4 spots that they had taken up. Because remember, they had all the tables out in the front and down the other side of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a huge spot. And then they had their big banner and boxes and nothing printing, just out there showing us these little soggy looking prints.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, oh no. I got something on my fingers and I can't get it off.
And that was also the year that we started the Calvin and Jimmy show, with that horribly funny interview that we shot sitting on the grass when we melted our camera equipment in the sun. That was fun though, because it was funny, because I told Danielle when we were shooting the year's video with you, me, Danielle, and Joe, I'm like, this is the exact same spot that we filmed in last time. I'm like, this is hallowed ground practically at Maker Faire for us.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is, because that's where
it was where the grass was semi-dry.
But that's
horrible
because it was
sunlight
in the sun.
behind us shining into the camera.
Rick is saying Ono went to just about all Maker Fairs in 2017, plus they packed up shop Saturday. Yeah, that was always the interesting part. Come Sunday, it's like, when that's the most high traffic day.
Yeah, you know good and well they still had to pay for that spot.
Oh yeah, that was lost money at that point.
Yeah.
And nothing looks worse than a big company having a completely empty booth with nothing there. It just screams, what happened here?
My guess is they probably knew that the mobs were coming for them, and they better get out of town before they showed up on Sunday.
Yeah, before they had their passports revoked or something like that.
What country were they from?
Supposedly they were from Italy, I think, originally, but they were using the Twitter building as a U.S. mailing address, which you can do. You can, purchase
I buy
a forwarding address in the U.S.
As I could tell whenever we saw the women there at the counters, you could tell they were not from America, but I could not place their accents. I couldn't place it.
Now, I will say the company behind it did successfully produce the Wasp 3D printer, which I hear is a really good Delta printer.
Really?
Yeah, back in the day. Let me look it up really quick. I have not personally worked with one, but I heard they were really good.
Man.
Yeah. Here we go.
What are you doing over there, man?
Finding the link. Done. So it looks like
you need another haircut. This haircut didn't last very long.
You want to know what Audrey asked me over Christmas?
What's that?
Did you get another haircut? I'm like, darn not. Not yet.
So you like that razor, huh?
Dude, that thing is nice.
So they're the ones that make the blades for that Dollar Shave Club.
Oh gosh.
I have to get a deal with them. See if they'll ever hook me up.
You can be like Linus and be like, and today's sponsor is Dollar Shave Club.
It was a close shave, but not as close as the shave that you'll get with Dorco. With 7 blades. Did you see how many blades that thing had?
Yeah, I used the Harry's ones, but I can't find which box that stuff got dropped in. But honestly, I have so much crap I need to sort through. It's not even funny at this point.
Oh, goodness. We're nothing but a bunch of whores. You know that?
Yeah, I know.
BB3D Harry Jimmy. I thought it was supposed to be Harry Calvin.
I know. We're working on it slowly.
With the poofy poofy.
The poofy poofy. May or may not have pulled the poofy poofy line on a certain friend, and she may or may not have found it really darn funny.
Oh, man. So what have you got planned for 2019? What do you plan on doing different in the upcoming year that you haven't done already?
I don't know, honestly. I haven't even had time to think about that.
Yeah, me either. All I know is I don't know. Right, things are going. I probably won't be wearing this much longer. It won't be the potato chip job either. That didn't work out.
Probably for the better.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I'm getting too old for that. Plus, I'm already fat enough as it is.
So Rick's saying he wants to do a 3D chia pet of Calvin. I like this idea, Rick.
Oh, there you go. Chia.
Calvin. And then I can totally act like some narcissist and be like, yeah, you know, I'm so cool, so I put my face on it.
3D printer noob. Murph. I want to, but as things are starting to pan out, I don't know if it's going to be happening this year.
I'm with him on that. I wish, but for multiple reasons, financial, time with school, and my knees, I really don't think that's going to happen for multiple reasons. Just flying alone is something that's not something I find very enjoyable at this point. So, yeah.
I'll put a thing in the link here to what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Rick, it will become a collector's item, and then you can sell it 10 years from now for like $100,000.
So that right there pretty much tells you what I am up against at the moment. In case anybody's wondering what in the world am I talking about. Anyway, one thing, like I said, I do have that printer on the way. So I think one of the first videos of 2019 will be the unboxing video of that printer. I think that's going to be it. I was going to have a printer, a video out this week. I just been kind of under the weather. Haven't felt like doing any recording or anything. So I was thinking about doing one of my yearly end of the year videos. Those do horrible every time I try doing it. So I'm like, do I even want to even spend the time trying to do it? Or just try and come up with another print and come out with a video, sometime next week.
I'm 50-50. I'm trying to figure out from Ashley, because I was over at her place yesterday. I'm not going to give all the details of the project away, but let's just say that we CNC machined up some pretty sweet knife handles made by a pretty well-known maker couple, and we're 50-50 on if she's going to be able to get her video out on it by this weekend, because if she can, that's going to be my last video for 2018. If not, I'm thinking of doing a hilarious little bloopers reel of more of the funny moments where things went wrong, like at Maker Faire or other events or things like that. So we'll see what becomes of that. I might just do it just for giggles.
Yeah, should I? No, I better not show that. I don't think I got that out in the public yet. But yeah, that's pretty nice.
I'll be honest though, I'm not going to name. You guys will know who it is probably once you see the video, but I'm not going to.
I made your heart skip a beat, didn't I? You're like, don't show it, don't show it, you dirty little piece of. Don't show it.
No, but what I will say was pretty disappointing is the actual quality of the files that were released that they supposedly used. It literally had so many errors in it. I had to go into Fusion and fix, like they would have a really tiny gap in the corner, like really tiny. Like I'm enlarging it here, but it would be just big enough that when you would try and run a machining operation, it would try and send the bit into there and freak it out. So I had to spend like half an hour fixing a bunch of errors in it. And I'm like, the husband supposedly is was a professional engineer or something. And I'm like, you're releasing files that bad as your Fusion source file? Wow, that's bad.
Paul's asking what the build size. I guess with the printer that's coming, it's going to be a 300 by 300 by 400. And it's got self-contained electronics down the base of it, I believe.
That's what I'm actually going to try and do with the FormBot, is put the electronics in the base as well. Might not be the prettiest, but at least it's out of the way.
And then Rick's asking, was it the front office that left the company? I'm not for sure, because we're actually being treated like a bunch of mushrooms. You know, mushrooms, you know, you keep them in the dark and you feed them. Yeah, you get the idea. Yeah, we got fed manure a lot, but yeah, there's pretty much they're coming down to the nitty gritty where they either there's a buyer or they cease, one of the two.
Neither is good.
No, and what's sad is we're having to find all this out from watching TV, reading stuff on the internet. We're not hearing it company ways. It's coming to us third party, which really sucks because you don't know how much is true, how much isn't. You know, you don't know all this. But last time when they said something was going to happen, pretty much they hit the nail on the head.
Rick's saying, oh geez, not another engineer. Yeah, I put it in air quotes, engineer. I know designers and engineers are two different things, but at the same time, if you're going to release your Fusion 360 file, which shows everything you did to make that thing, and it has a bunch of errors in it, like in the solid model itself, I'm not talking like warnings in the timeline or something. I'm sorry, that's just not cool. Not cool.
Just like me at work in the dark or fed sticky stuff. Yep.
Oh my gosh, that is so bad.
Hey, that's the old saying. Treat like mushrooms, keep you in the dark, feed your shit.
That's how I feel at school half the time.
That's what they say.
That's what I feel like at school half the time when I try and get answers for why there's no classes. They're like, oh, we don't know. Really?
They know exactly why.
They just don't want to say.
There's cuts, and they're weighing how outraged people are going to be if they cut this class compared to if they cut that class. Oh, nobody's really complaining if they cut that one, so let's cut that one.
Yep. Theory is saying we were a Sears pickup point at my pharmacy, but they shut down. They shut everything down a year ago. Man.
Yeah. Yeah, they're down to. The idea is if the gentleman actually puts his bid in, it will be 505 stores total that will continue. So, of course, I don't think there's much more than that right now. I think they've pretty much down to that level.
Yeah. The other day I was at the bank, which is across the street from the old Thousand Oaks Sears, And I looked at that thing, and now it's like a Nordstrom's and I think an H&M crammed into one, because this was a huge Sears. And then unsurprisingly, they closed up. But like I said, I went there like 2 or 3 years before it closed. And it was like the most dead store I'd ever been in. I'm like, where is everybody? This is creepy.
I know. There's been a lot of stores doing that. We are very fortunate where we're at. It stayed fairly relevant.
Well, like I said, I think you have a lot of people who Sears was like where they went when they were little, and they just kind of have that brand loyalty. Plus, I mean, I've been to the Walmart out there, and it's okay, but it kind of feels like that Walmart, they aren't dumping a whole lot into it because they know they have the Sears. But I think after the Sears goes, that Walmart's going to go from crazy to just beyond nuts.
Well, the Walmarts here have armed. They got a hand tied behind their back. Pretty much, the city didn't want them to expand. They wanted to take, and where Lowe's went in, they wanted to build a super Walmart. They wanted to build a super center. And the city said, no, we don't want you having a super center. Therefore, we're going to ban all big box stores from being built anything over the 900 or 999,000. Was it 999,000 square feet? Wherever they couldn't hit 100,000 square feet. There's only 99,000 square feet is all they could go up to. And so Walmart says, okay, so you don't want us to build a super center. We won't. So we'll turn around, we'll buy the Home Depot building. So they bought the Home Depot building and kept the old Walmart. So they put 2 Walmarts in. Even at that, between the 2 Walmarts is still not a super center. You go to Gilroy, and that's a super center.
I mean, I've been to the one down the street from your place across from the Lowe's, and it's, even when we went there at like 8:30 at night to get something to drink, it was still jumping.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Mr. Carroll Science says, Walmart is the only store we have here, really. In the South, I've been to Northwest Florida multiple times. Literally, you have Walmart, which literally has everything. You have a couple of little dollar store chains, and you have like Publix, but that's more like clothing, more like food, and that's it. So, I mean, Walmart out there is like, you get everything at Walmart. If the zombie apocalypse happened in the South, everybody would go to Walmart because you got all the guns, you got vehicles you can buy, you've got food, you got the pharmacy. I mean, literally, you could pick that Walmart up and drop it in the middle of nowhere, and you could rebuild society from it.
Honestly, if you have a really good super Walmart, and then you have a what's that called? The Tractor Supply.
Yeah.
You got everything you need.
Ron is saying he has only Dollar General in his town.
You know, honestly, those aren't that bad. They're not that bad. But it sucks that it's the only store.
Yeah, I have to say, though, if you're smart at a dollar store, you can get a lot of good stuff. Like, I love the little bottles of super glue or the epoxy. Those are really handy, and I keep those in a toolbox when I go to train shows and stuff, because if I need epoxy, well, I got the two little 50-cent tubes, squeeze them out, and when I'm done, you know, I don't need the big old container, and I like having those really tiny ones so they stay fresh.
Rick's saying it's so good at Walmart. The one here in Salinas used to, but because of the gang violence, they had to get out of it. But back east, as far as I know, they still sell guns, especially the ones in Colorado. You can walk in there and you can buy. I mean, you name it, they got it. Except for if you're in California. If you're in California and you go to any stores outside California, they will not sell you anything. The only thing you could possibly get is walk over to where they have the BB guns, and they actually have the black powder rifles. Now, those you can buy and walk right out the door with it.
because from what I know from the rules, because it's a black powder weapon, it is automatically considered antique, and therefore there is no licensing required for it, and therefore you can legally own one even if it's made brand new because of the way the weird rules are. I'm not saying it's good or bad, but that's just the way it is.
And CVA actually came out with one that had like a little spark plug in it, so you didn't even have to have a cap, and you could just take and put the powder in it along with the ball or whatever it is, and it was like a piezo type setup. You know, fire right off.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
Teresa's saying Bunnings in all caps. Me must look this up because I don't live in Straya. Oh, it's
I'm guessing
Australia's
that's their
DIY
store.
garden and hardware store. Let me post a link to this. Oh, sweet! You can get a 40 centimeter pedestal fan for $12.90 dues.
What's that?
You can get a Cambic for $49 dues.
Man.
Dollar dues is the joke that we have for Australian money.
Dude.
Teresa's saying, "Send me some." Then, hey! I'm running low on dollar dues. I'm sorry. I must sell things with my big printers.
The sunscreen. Did you look at the sunscreen?
No.
Cancer Council, 500 milliliters. What a name. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, that's a good price on a pedestal fan, though. Hey, I wouldn't mind having one of these here. That's about the right price for a plastic table. $39.89. $26.95 for an 8.5 kilogram gas cylinder, otherwise known as a 20-pound bottle here. Dude, wonder how much the shipping is to the States.
Probably would offset the discount that you would get because it's an Australian dollar dues. Oh man.
NLTMW, how you doing? And they also have sausage sizzles. What's a sausage sizzle?
Don't want to know.
I do. I'm curious.
Race. Oh, I had to do. Oh, this was great. I had to do so much editing of the jokes that made it in before we actually started our hangout with Joe when we were filming at Maker Faire. I'm like, nope, can't use that. Nope, can't use that. Okay, I can use that. Nope, can't use that. Oh, it was great. Brian saying, you too could be a great chef with the Great Chef Barbie in a box. Oh my gosh, this is going downhill fast. Thanks, Teresa. Thanks a lot again. Oh man.
Let me see if I can find the. I want to get the correct link for this. Let's see, where's it at? Come on, where's it at? Okay, there we go. This is gonna be bad.
I'm scared.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh, come on. Where's it at?
Everybody's wondering what the heck is going on.
There we go. This one's for you. Teresa, this one's for you.
Okay, I'm looking it up right now. It literally looks like the I'm too poor to buy hot dog buns version of hot dogs.
There.
Okay, now I'm not going to be a smarty pants, and I'm going to include A link.
That has got to be one of the funniest things to do. It's horrible when they do it where something is really serious, but it's hilarious whenever they do it the right way. Let me Google that for you. Oh my goodness.
They actually, okay, so this is what Urban Dictionary classifies a sausage sizzle as. A barbecue, usually for fundraising purposes, at which cheap sausages are cooked and sold in bread for around £1.50.
Hey, I'd buy it.
I'd buy it. Shoot, I spend that much at Costco to get one.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is a sausage sizzle?
Sounds like something Jack in the Box would sell.
Yeah, so a sausage sizzle occurs in large public spaces on hot sunny days, so all year round, haha. It is either free as a draw to the event or a fundraiser in which an acceptable charge of up to $2 for your sausage sizzle. It must be a fundraiser for local community organizations, blah, 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 blah. It's presented on a single piece of white bread with margarine. You can choose from 2 kinds of sauces, tomato or barbecue. Most of the time, you can get fried onion too if you like it.
Good night, Paul. Thank you for joining.
Have a good one. And the funny thing is, in America, if you put your hot dog or your sausage on white bread like that, that's what you did if you were really poor and you couldn't afford hot dog buns.
I still do it.
Hey, I didn't say it was a bad thing. It's just stereotypically in America, that's what you would do. I'd eat one. Give me a sausage sizzle and I'll eat it.
Yep. I'd totally go down on a sausage sizzle. Wait a minute. That doesn't sound right. That sounds like something Jack in the Box would sell. I was on my trip down under, and I came across something that tasted really good. A sausage sizzle. Let's go come check out my sausage sizzle. I sizzle up some sausage. I stick in some white bread. And it's served inside of a paper wrapper. The meth heads would go crazy after it. You know that?
Oh yeah. Well, it's kind of like when weed became legalized for medical purposes, and then all of a sudden the munchie meal became like a 24/7 thing, as well as like the 4th meal at Taco Bell.
Hey, have you ever tried back when they had it the Hangry Hash?
I never went there.
So for the longest, they had this. What they would do is they'd take 2 hash browns, smash them all up. They would take I forget what type of cheese it was, but they'd melt it in the microwave, pour it all over. Or first they'd take chicken nuggets. So 5 chicken nuggets, put them in there on top of the hash browns. Then they'd melt the cheese, pour it all over that. And then they would take that Red's hot sauce and squirt it all over it. That Frank's Red hot sauce or something like that. Squirt it all over the top of it. And it was called a Hangry Chicken Hash.
Oh my gosh.
Not angry with an A-H. Hangry Chicken Hash. I lived on those things for a good 2 months.
Sounds like something you get at Waffle House, but that sounds really good.
It sounds really weird, but it was really good. My
No,
mouth still waters just thinking about it.
You know what I'm really craving right now?
What's that?
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. Well, I just got back from meeting over at Chef Lee's China House number 2. What?
What did you get over there at Chef Lee's China House number 2?
I got the Chef Lee's fried rice. Anything that's Chef Lee's means it's got all the meats in it. So it's going to have your chicken, your pork, and usually what do they call it? Shrimp. So whatever meat, they throw all of it in there. So it's again pork chow mein or chicken chow mein, You order Chef Lee's chow mein, it comes with all the meat. Yeah.
Is that what Maxie got us the time that we went over there to really quickly work on Tom's sink, which turned into the all stinking night ordeal?
But that was Chef Lee's.
That was good.
It's really good. And especially if you get what we like doing is we like tonight feeling under the weather when they got the hot and sour soup. Now, hot and sour soup is an acquired taste, okay?
Oh, yeah.
You do not get good hot sour soup unless you take the first bite and it tastes like what cat piss smells like. The first bite, I kid you not, is like, oh. Then it's like, after that, everything's a lot better. It's like, okay, this isn't so bad. Next thing you know, your nose is running, you're blowing your nose, and it's just, it clears your sinuses out really good.
Oh, yeah.
And when you get your fried rice, get the Chef Lee's fried rice, then they have this little tub it's a little glass jar that's got this red hot sauce in it. Got a little metal lid on it, and they keep a plastic spoon in there. When you pull the plastic spoon out of there, I kid you not, it's drooped because something about that has melted that spoon. You take just a little dab of that and throw it on the fried rice, stir it all up, and it's perfect. You put too much of the sauce, Aunt Nancy can tell you that stuff is hot, and she loves hot stuff. But yeah, it gets hot.
That's the thing you got to be careful with.
We're talking about somebody who goes to the Pepper Palace and will eat the hottest stuff they got. She will eat their hot sauce and go, okay.
You need to get Aunt Nancy on hot ones, and she'll just like barrel through everything and just be like drinking the hot sauce, like, oh, that's nothing. Next.
And Nancy's yum. I took her there a few times. She knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. The one suggestion that Danielle did have that was actually a pretty good one. I mean, she loved The Godfather, but she goes, 2 things that if I could add to it, I would. She goes, one of them would be hot sauce. And the other one would be to actually put like, I forget if it was like Parmesan cheese or something on the outside of the potato skin. So that would get like all crunchy. But she goes, it's really good as is. I'm like, yeah, it's, you know, for what Nana charges and what he gives you, it's a deal.
Mr. Carol Science said he sent me something on Twitter. I'm trying to find it.
Sent you a hangry hash.
I need the hangry hash. I need that in my life again. Actually, one of them told me if I ever wanted it to let her know, and she thinks that she could kind of fix it up for me. Dude. Well, they got rid of the sauce, so that's the only bad part.
Yeah, you could always smuggle your own in.
Yeah, I could always just take a bottle of Tapatio. It's close, but not the same.
Well, I mean, beggars can't be choosers. I mean, if somebody who knows you over there is like, I can probably help duplicate this,
it's like,
you take them up on it. Considering that story goes, whenever this fine gentleman shows up at this establishment, they already know to get his order going. The moment his beat up van with the stapled on roof liner rolls up, oh, Jimmy's here.
Come on, really? Did you just go there?
Oh, I went there.
Let's talk about your car. Jimmy, can you come out here and take a look at this car? Tell me whether we really need to do anything to this, or can we just go ahead and kick it out of the shop?
Who said that, Gil?
No, it's the big macaques in the back. Okay, story about my van. My van was not, well, it was my van. Okay, in 2002, bought this van brand new. Okay, had it until 2008, and when I bought a brand new Nissan Sentra. So my wife, you know, pretty much as soon as we got the van, she started driving it more. She took over the van, you know. I got my car, you know, I kept driving my car, and she drove her van until it got stolen about 2 years ago. 2 years ago, she went to Walmart, went to go get cat food, came out 10 minutes later, and the van was gone. Gone for 2 weeks. Could not find it. I went everywhere. If I could have found it in somebody's yard, that house probably would not have been standing after I found it. Went everywhere, could not find that van. One night, 11 o'clock at night, we get a phone call from the police department over in what's the top of the hill on Highway 17?
Hollister?
No, Hollister's over on 25.
Los Banos?
No, that's 125.
Sorry, I don't know the area.
It's between Santa Cruz and San Jose.
Watsonville?
No, dude, you're not helping. That's Highway 1.
Sorry.
It's they have Scottsboro Lumber up there. They have Felton up that way. It's God, I can't remember the name of it.
Scotts Valley?
Scotts
That's what
Valley,
Nancy says.
That's it. Thank you. So get a phone call from their police department. Hey, we think we found your van here. Can you describe it? And you're like, yeah, it's dark blue. It's like, do you have the license plate number? I said, not really. I said, well, let me look it up because we'd had a police report. Okay, we got your van here. You want to come pick it up? If you're not here in an hour, we're going to tow it. I'm like, you realize we live in Salinas, right? It's going to take me a little bit more than an hour to get there. Well, just get here as fast as you can. Okay. I got there fast. You may or may not know, but okay, I got there fast. Got there. The van was just beat up. The headliner was pulled down because they were trying to figure out how I got the XM antenna up on top. They'd pulled down the headliner, done everything they could, just ripped the place all apart. End up having to borrow water bottles from the police officer to fill up the radiator because it was bone dry, and we got it limped back home that night. And so I ended up taking the van as mine and told Beth, said, drive the car. The car is yours. I'll take care of the van. And so I ended up having to replace the radiator on it. End up having to, the insurance totaled it out. End up having to get a salvage title on it, which ended up costing almost as much money as what the insurance gave us for totaling out the van. So got everything all set up, got the inspection done, got the salvage title. So I was driving the van. The thing is, I used spray glue to get the spray adhesive, get the headliner back up. But the thing is, once you start pulling that stuff down, that backing starts coming loose. And so all of a sudden, just recently went. So the other day, because it kept rubbing my hair, and I didn't have time to pull it out and do it the right way, I may or may not have grabbed a stapler, one of those swing line staplers, and went. And then Calvin rides with me the other day. What the have you done to your van? You can fill in the with what Calvin said.
No, poor Danielle's 4Runner. It's a great car. Don't get me wrong, but the problem is the headliner literally is just like rubbed away in spots. So there's literally just like the foam sitting there. It's just like, oh my gosh.
And just kind of slowly just sprinkle down like salt and pepper on you. And so you get out and it's like, that's the reason why I haven't pulled that all off. Because the moment I pull that off, I just need to take the whole headliner, because it's going to be like a cardboard stuff. Pull the whole headliner out, peel it off, wire brush all that stuff off of it, and then put new stuff down. Then I know good and well what I'm going to end up doing. I'm probably going to get some of that tuck and roll stuff and do it. You know, the where it's got the stitches, where it's got like the diamond shape to it?
Yeah.
Because where can you find that material? It's hard to find it.
Yeah, no, and it's very specialized to install it correctly as well.
Well, it's not bad because you use that 3M spray foam or the spray adhesive. You spray that, you spray the back of the material you're going to use, and then you let it set for, like 2 minutes till they let it get tacky, and then you put it on there and it's good to go.
Rick is saying,
Apparently I'm not the only one.
So Rick's saying he would have used rice and duct tape, and I guess rice is Pacific Islanders' glue of choice.
Actually, it works pretty good.
Yeah. No, but the other thing we're gonna do is the hood on the car.
3D. Oh, it's tacky, all right. And not a good tacky.
No, the other thing is the bonnet on our car is the clear coats for some reason just was not in good condition and the paint's starting to degrade. So what we're gonna do is we're probably gonna sand down what's on there, and she found that she can get like color match paint at Walmart. So we're just gonna sand it down. What I'm thinking we'll do is we'll probably just sand it down to clear to near bare metal, just so we can start fresh. Rub the whole thing down with phosphoric acid to help, prep the surface, then hit it with etching primer, and then hit it with the paint, because that's the trick that we used on Ashley's bench build, and that paint never came up because we rubbed the whole thing down with phosphoric, then we went over it with acetone to help clean off any excess grease, then we hit it with etching primer, and then we hit it with spray paint, and it stuck like crazy.
Plasti dip it.
No, that'd be a very bad idea.
Oh, goodness. Theory, thank you for joining. Appreciate it. There you go. Rub it down with some olive oil, then try a little salt and a pinch of black pepper.
Actually, Mr. Kettle Science, this was spray paint that is the correct lot number, pin number for her specific vehicle. So it's actually in a spray can.
Yeah, expensive as it can be too. Be cheaper to just go buy a gallon of paint.
And slop it on there.
Well, you may or may not know somebody that knows how to paint.
Road trip.
I was enjoying that one for a moment there, Calvin.
Sorry. BB, we're not too worried about color, like dead on color match. More or less, we're just trying to not have the hood rust through in the next 3 years.
Yeah.
That's the goal. I mean, the main thing is, if it was me, I mean, I'm going to see if we can see if there's any kind of like Rust-Oleum that's just like a very close match to that. Because if we can just use a $6 or $8 can of Rust-Oleum instead of like 30, 40 bucks stuff from Walmart, we'll do that. But I'll talk to her about it first, because we're still figuring out if we're going to do it or not.
Hey, Chris, how you doing? Thank you for joining.
Who's this guy think he is, jumping in the chat talking Hawaiian?
I would repeat it, but I know I'd completely botch it.
I'm not even gonna try.
You're not?
No, heck no. Because then Chris will come on over and smack me.
Oh, goodness. So what other projects do you have going on down there other than your lightsaber?
Thanks for saying it, but it doesn't matter because a certain individual is not in the chat.
You didn't have to show it. Everybody can just use their imagination on that one. But now that you actually want to hold something up so everybody can see it. This is the wrong color, Calvin. I didn't expect it to be that color.
I won't go into the story behind it because I'm going to save that for the video, because I'm making it practically under somebody's nose right now and she doesn't realize it. But this is going to be a fun project when it gets done, because I've got coming in some UV LEDs and other stuff.
That's cool.
I'm also right now as I'm typing, I'm working on this giant Kingdom Hearts Keyblade that Ashley wants to do because I guess they're coming out with like a revamped version of Kingdom Hearts, the video game. So I'm working on cranking out parts for that on the A10M. I've decided I'm going to do a video. I'm going to do all the prints on the A10M, but I've decided just because nobody needs to see boring parts like this being printed, I'm going to save the time lapses for the parts that are really actually interesting to see printing on camera. And then I'll just say, you know, I printed this all on the A10M, and if I ran into any issues, here's why, and things like that. But the one thing I will say is I keep forgetting that down here the weather is crazy humid, so I can't leave my PLA out forever or it gets wet like that, and then I have to dry it. But, oh well.
Someone doing the tube snake boogie over there? Yeah, Calvin totally pulled it out there for a moment. You're gonna let like, you know.
So Rick is asking, what color is the blade going to be? It's going to be purple. So the idea is, since I'm going to have the purple UV LEDs inside, the blade's going to be removable. I might actually make it so it has like a friction fit into there is what I'm actually thinking I might do so it doesn't rub the paint off. But the idea is I'm going to use the A10M and the color mixing capabilities. This is where it's really going to shine on camera. I'm making the blade in two pieces that I'm going to glue together, but I'm going to start out with a heavier purple tint at the bottom. And then as it goes up, it's going to mix out of that. So it goes to clear PLA near the end. So even if it's not lit up, it's just going to look really cool sitting there, just having that clear with the tinge in it.
Quote of the day. I could go down on that sausage sizzle. For shizzle my sizzle.
Oh my god. This is what happens when we get past the hour mark. Then you just go.
Then Calvin's all pulling this thing out over there. And then he's giving these descriptions about, you know. One of these days I'm going to take a real screenshot. You doing something like that?
I give up.
Well, dude, you want to call it?
I want to call it. I'm crashing fast here, so.
Mr. Carol Science is asking you a question.
Are you set on printing the blade parts and like some sort of fluorescent tube? Might work better for multiple colors, maybe an LED strip. Honestly, originally what I was going to do for the rod was I was going to get just like an acrylic tube and then go from there. But I mean, initially the thing was literally just going to be like a flashlight. And then I was like, well, you know what? It would look really dumb if it didn't have some kind of fake blade. So we'll see about that. But I mean, it's all an experiment at this point.
You said flashlight, right? Okay, I just want to be sure. I thought you said something else. Never mind.
Nope.
Is it going to say pew pew whenever you poke a button? Pew
pew. But honestly, if there was a way to get a little sound unit that made like the world's most cartoonish pew pew every time you turn the power button on, that would be hilarious. But the way it works is
Teresa. Yes.
No, the way it's going to work though is you push. It's a momentary push button, so it only turns on when you push the button down, and then you release the button, it turns off. So that should make it more fun because you can instantly turn it on and off without having to click a button all the time. This could be fun.
You know, they sell those plastic. It's a clear plastic tube that you put over a fluorescent light. It's for in case of an earthquake, the light falls out, it shatters. It shatters inside the tube, and it doesn't let the dust and everything out. You ever seen those?
I've seen those, but I don't think it would work because I've designed mine to work with like a 1.5 inch or 1 3/4 inch rod.
There you go, pulling it out. She's telling us what type of rod you need. It's darker than I thought it'd be.
So should I show you? So here's the tube. Then the 9-volt battery is going to go in there and live on the inside.
Reminds me of that bolt and that chasing the nut, and the nut's yelling "nut without a washer."
So bad.
Teresa said that's a girthy rod. Oh man.
I'm done. Let's call it a night. This is going downhill way too fast.
Guys, I can't thank you enough. Have a great night. Thank you very much for joining us. Most of all, you guys have a happy new year. We will catch you sometime next week. Are you going to be down there next week, or are you going to be up this way?
No, I'm going to be down here till about the 3rd week of January at this rate.
So we'll be over on your channel?
Definitely.
Sounds good. Guys, have a great night. Take care. We'll catch you later.
Later.